Afternoon to our eminent guest, Head of Civil and Environmental Engineering Department from North Cap University, Gurugram, Dr. Shruti Kanga, Coordinator of Center for Climate Change and Water Research, Dr. Suraj Kumar Singh, and my dear faculties, and to all those who are present here. I, Priyanka Roy, welcome you all on behalf of Center for Climate Change and Water Research at Suresh Kiran Bihar University for this FDP on technical research paper writing in high index journal. We are very delighted and eagerly looking forward to have you all involved in the quest of learning and embracing knowledge. With an aim of learning how to write a research paper for peer-reviewed journal is an important part of our career of uh, many academicians and scientists. It is also essential part of scientific enterprises. However, many academicians and scientists do not consider themselves a good writer. So it is important to know how to write good research and scientific paper. So taking this in thought, I would like to call upon Dr. Varun Narayan Mishra, Assistant Professor at Center for Climate Change and Water Research, to take forward today's event with a welcome address. Sir,
Thank you very much, Priyanka, for this talk. Good afternoon to our invited speaker, all the faculty members, students. Hope my voice is clear. Hello.
sir, your voice is very low, sir.
Hello. Now I'm audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. Sorry for interruption. Good afternoon to our invited speaker, all the faculty members, students, and participants from various organizations. I, Dr. Varun Narayan Mishra, on behalf of Center for Climate Change and Water Research, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, welcome you all in the Faculty Development Program on Technical Research Paper Writing in High Quality and Index Journals. In our center, we are currently offering several courses, including BSc Geology, MSc Geoinformatics, MTech Geoinformatics, and doctoral degree in related disciplines. Our center is also actively involved in research and developmental activities interrelated subjects, including forestry, urban planning, environmental sciences, earth sciences, and other related disciplines. We have published several research papers in reputed journals and also published several edited books, and I hope this FDP will bring new insights to the students as well as the faculty members in order to publish high quality publications in reputed journals so that we can contribute to the society for the developmental and benefit of the society. And it will be also good to see how we can go for some more scientific development in the remote sensing community and related fields. So now I would like to uh, call upon Ms. Priyanka Rai to formally welcome our invited speaker.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such good words about the department and the center and the university. Now, I'm taking forward this. I would take deep moment of introducing our eminent guest, and we are very honored to have Professor Ramkaran Singh, Head of Civil and Environmental Engineering. He is also Dean of RDL and PhD Studies to grace this FDP. He is a chairman of international relations. He is also a nodal officer of NCU in Association of Indian Universities. He did his BE honors and MSc area of hydraulics and water resources from BITS BITS Pilani. He is a recipient of several awards from national and international organizations. He has over 150 paper published in reputed journals internationally and nationally in conferences, as well as good journals. He has many books, authored many books, and many projects are under his belts. He has, with his multidisciplinary research team, he has 5 national and international patents under his name. And on this note, I would formally invite Professor Ramkaran Singh to take forward today's event and guide us through how to write a good research paper. Sir, you're most welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Priya. Thanks to Dr. Shruti, she interacted me some time back, and then she wanted to connect me with the center long back. And today I got a chance to interact with you all. I am also able to see to Dr. Lokesh Gambhir, Rishabh, Ankita Bharadwaj, Ruby Praveen, Ravi Yadav, Shubham Sharma, and all. So very happy to see you all. And looking through the center background and potential, it is going to be a very important in times to come to do the quality research in the center for its growth, and that is possible only if we go for a very good research publications. So I wish to share the uh, my PowerPoint presentation, which I am going to make here in next 45 minutes or 1 hour, whatever the time I shall get. Uh, so sharing will be possible from. Uh,
Yes, sir.
so I am looking for a present now. There is one upward arrow. Should I click there to share my?
Yes, sir.
So I am clicking here. So here it is written your entire screen, a window, a tab. So which option should I go for? A window?
So you must take a window.
Okay, a window. So I took a window. Now I got the PowerPoint, and then able to share. I hope now it is visible to all of you. The PowerPoint which I have shared.
Yes, sir, it is visible now, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the topics for today's presentation is the technical research paper writing in higher index in
Sir,
a high index journal.
sir, it's a request, sir. Please, can you share in a slideshow mode, as it's
Yeah. So I am putting in the slideshow mode from the beginning. So I guess now it is visible on a larger screen. It is all right.
So it is not yet updated, sir.
Yeah. It is in slideshow mode now. Should I start? You are able to see the entire screen now? Yes?
So
Yes,
the
sir.
slide is
Yeah.
visible.
Yes,
Thank you all. Thank you all. So the topic is high demanding. As such, I may not be able to justify the time period, but this is going to be a very important topic in the present context and present scenario, because these days writing in a high index journal will only help the centers or the university institutions or the research scholars to compete with the ongoing research globally. So for that reason, it is very important for the research scholars to write the paper in the journals which are listed in the Web of Sciences, or Scopus with the Q and Q2 or Q3 high rankings, non-paid journals. For that only they will get the academic credentials, and moreover these days their career growth is also possible only if they have a good visibility on the Google Scholars as well as the ResearchGate, good RG scores, good H index, good I10 index, good type of citations of their research. Then so recently you might have also seen these days like the ranking recently released from the Stanford University for the global scientist, top 2% global scientist of the world. So India figured not many scientists in that list. So if you have a similar ambitions to become a good researcher, your research paper should be published in very good index journals listed in Web of Sciences, not if in Nature, then at least in the Web of Sciences journals you should target for. So in today's discussion, I shall give certain, and your career growth, your globalization is will be there only if you do so. And moreover, in our present educational policy, which was released couple of months back, there a lot of emphasis is given on the importance of higher education as well as multidisciplinary research and globalization, and academic issues such as the credit-based learning and so many other things, academic flexibility, all these things. And all these things are going to happen only and only if we as a teaching community are going to focus on the research-based teaching in the times to come. Then only our students will be globally employable and our research will be also globally visible. So for this region, I appeal all research scholars working at different levels should focus in the high index journals. Thank you for inviting me to speak on this occasion, Suresh Gyan Bihar University. I am delighted to be here and happy to share my presentation in last half an hour or 1 hour, whatever is the time. So a technical research paper writing in high index journals is going to deal with the paper characteristics and meet academic requirements, review by select committee members, contents, word limits, and the literature review, plague report, description and copies of tools used.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, sir. So the slide is not changing, sir.
But here it is changing to me.
So we cannot see the slide changing. We can only see the first slide which is being presented. Yes.
So should I stop sharing and then share again?
Yes, sir, I think that will rectify the problem.
Okay, I stopped sharing and then what to do? Maybe
The same processor again present now and select the window of the PowerPoint.
and then I am trying to share again a window,
Yes, sir.
and then I selected, then I share, and then I am going to from current slide. What about now?
So the slide is visible, but I do not know whether it will be changing or not, sir. The first slide we can see, sir.
Other slides, is my slide is navigating?
No, sir.
Okay, so
Sir, can you send your PPT on my mail? This is Dr.
yeah, that I shall do it right now. Let me share the PPT on email. Just I am replying to your mail and attaching my presentation.
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay. RKS desktop. And then, so I have attached, and then I have sent it. So mail has gone to you.
Yeah, we are checking it, sir. We are checking it.
Yeah. So
Today there is a problem with the Google Meet. As we were taking the FDP earlier today, so we were facing some difficulty for the students' presentation too. So that's why we have asked for this PPT. Otherwise, generally it's a very good platform for presentation.
that's what I'm seeing. Is navigation is very good, and and it is clearly showing it is got shared also.
Yeah, there is a problem with this issue with Google Meet today. Otherwise, we have
Yeah,
conducted all conferences and webinars we conduct in Google Meet itself, and we
yeah,
have never found any difficulty with the kind of presentation that and the
yeah,
technical
yeah.
problem we are
This,
facing
this,
today.
this is a very good platform. Yeah, I know. So you try from your side, then I will make a presentation.
Yeah, yes, sir. Please,
Yeah,
sir. We are sharing it. Wait for a
yeah,
minute,
yeah, yeah.
sir. Please stop sharing your screen.
Yeah, yeah. That I have to do. Yes, you are right. Uh,
Sir, you can start your presentation. Will you say next? We'll change it.
okay, join now. So yeah, yeah. Now it is. I am able to. Should I? There is a echo.
Sir, you can start your presentation.
Yeah. So uh, the slide which I shared, there is lot of echo.
Sir, you have logged in through two devices. Sir, you have to log out from one devices.
Okay, okay, yeah,
We can see you two devices. One
yeah,
you,
yeah.
now it's okay.
That was the reason it seems. Yeah, yeah. Now there is no echo. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, thank you so much. So now it is okay. I am. Can you hear me, all of you?
Yes, sir, we
Yes,
can share, we can see there is a problem with the PPT presentation today. That's why we have converted into PDF.
Okay, fine, no issue. So so can we go to the next slide? Yeah. General article characteristics meet journalistic standards. Review by a panel of blind reviewers. Sections: word limit, manuscript format, literature review, and selected finding presented, and then the grammatical things. So all these things we need to plan before we are going to write a articles or manuscript which need to be selected. So first of all, we need to identify the journal in our area of research interest and download the guidelines which are applicable for the authors. And that guidelines may be sometime 10 to 12 page documents. We should read word by word, line by line, and understand all the requirements of a good standard journal. And then accordingly, we are supposed to prepare our manuscript. Because many a time it happens whenever we submit the manuscript to a journal, in next moment it comes back from the editor itself that the article is not written in the right format. So this is the first exercise need to be done by the all research scholars. They should identify the journal in their area of interest, download the author's guideline, read the guideline word by word, line by line, and make the table figures with the same resolution size in which they are required, and thorough check the grammatical errors. And these days the software used to check the similarity index of the content. Sometimes the similarity index 10% is allowed for the region to use the standard nomenclatures and definitions. but more than that it is not permitted. So your similarity index should be also within 10% limit. And then after this only you need to send your manuscript to the journal. Otherwise, in next few hours only your manuscript will come back. So apart from the standard research, where you need to have a good research elements in your research work, identifying the right journals where your area of interest matches, then reading the author's guideline and preparing the journal manuscript in the same format in which it is desired. Sometimes there is a cap on the number of words, number of pages also. Some journals also permit with the extra payments, additional pages can be added, additional figures may be added, but they have a cap on the number of figures and the size of the figures, resolutions, size of the manuscript. All these things, all these details you will get from the author's guideline. So reading the author's guideline is very important for one and all before you submit your article to the journal. But prior to that, you should be also to anticipate your research, how much research element it has. Rather, you should be in position to gauge the standard of your research before you submit your manuscript. And that thing will happen only and only if you are a good researcher in that area. And for the researchers who are beginning their careers, they need to do a lot of initial readings for number of months, number of years, with a good understanding on the subject, so that they can come to a particular level while they write the paper. So all these things you need to ensure before you submit the manuscript, other than the technical things which are required, because the blind reviews are done with the number of reviewers, but that is decided at a later stage when your paper is through from the editor office. So once the editor feel that your paper is up to the mark and it can be sent to the reviewers, then only he send the papers to the reviewers. And once your paper go to reviewer, that also a success for you, because editor has decided taken a decision to send your paper to reviewer. This means it has crossed the first stage. And sometime if the reviewer comments comes, you should take it very positively. Even if the comments are very adverse, then also take it very positively, because that enhances the quality of your research. Many a times it happens that if you include all the reviewers' comment and they are serious in nature, then the quality of your research automatically improves. And sometimes the reviewer reject the papers, then also you should not be offended. Rather than you should also try to know what are the reasons for the rejection and then try to address those concerns at a later stage. Sometimes the additional experiments are required. Sometimes the additional literature reviews are required. Sometimes the number of simulation modeling tools need to be increased. There may be various reasons based on which your paper may get rejected. But you need to remain in a good research spirit and take those rejection region in a right spirit. You should not feel bad, you should not feel offended. Rather than you should address those issues nicely. So these are the things required while we conceive the idea of writing a research paper. Then going to the next slide. If you see the research paper as a whole is consists of with these topics and subtopics, which you can see. The introduction part of a research paper is very important, and sometimes the title of the paper and the abstract and the keywords is responsible for the good citation of your research, because all the researcher look for a literature review by putting certain keywords in the search engine, and then your research paper is going to get visible on the Google Scholars or the ResearchGate or various other platforms. So this means your research area should catch the important thrust point which are used in your area of research. So the title itself should be a very catching topic which should cover all the major keywords which are being used in that particular area of research. That will enhance the citation of your paper in the times to come. So the selection of topics should be in the latest area of your research. The abstracts, sometimes the people don't read the entire paper, they just read the abstract. So all the objectivity related to the abstract need to be fulfilled. Introduction is a very important part where you are going to ask the question what, why, how. So these questions are very important for a researcher to ask themselves while they are conceiving the idea of writing a research paper. For what you have done that research, why you have done that research, and how you have done that research is to be addressed in the introduction. And literature review, as you know, should give you the current state of art in your area of research, where you are going to again ask the question from yourself, why and how, and then accordingly you need to have a thorough study at least from past 2 decades or so, whatever the important research being carried out in that area. And then there you are going to put the research hypothesis, research questions, and then ultimately you will decide the objective of your research work, which you will carry out in a number of years. And then later on you are going to write them in the form of the technical papers. So literature review is one very important aspect of your research activities, whether you are going to a PhD research scholar, or whether you are doing it for the purpose of writing your manuscript, or you are going to write for the purpose of your PhD thesis. The literature review is going to play the very important role in conceiving the idea of good research, then bringing yourself to a particular level from where you are going to make a real contributions. Then you see your contribution and compare your achievement in terms of the latest existing contribution made in that particular area. Then only when your paper will go to the top reviewers working in those areas, they will be able to gauge the standard of your paper. Then only that paper may be accepted in a high index journals. So for the experienced editors, it is very easy for them. They take only couple of minutes to decide what is the standard of your research, and accordingly they take the decision. So, but in order to reach that level, a lot of hard work and efforts need to go from the research scholars. And then the methodology, where you are going to address how you are going to carry out the research. In your methodology is going to be a very comprehensive part of the research activities. Many times the researcher goes on the site for the collection of the samples, then bringing those samples, testing in the labs. After getting the test results from the lab, they are going to do the simulation, modeling and analysis of those results, and then going to make interpretations in the form of graphs and the tables. Many a time it is a hardcore lab-oriented works. Many a time it is a purely simulation and modeling-oriented work. Many a time people working in the area of GIS and remote sensing, they work only with the satellite imageries, which they procure recent imageries from the NASA or any other agencies, and then use the software, modeling software, ArcView or various other Eridas or various other softwares to make a modeling and simulation on the spatial and temporal scales, and then go for the projection and other things. So it all depends what is the kind of research you are going to take. So the methodology is going to take a very important role, and sometimes you can also contribute a research elements keeping the right methodology in place, which is not being taken care of the other researchers. So all these aspects, when you are going to take, they are challenging. I know it sounds to be easy, but they are not easy. Lot of hard work need to go behind. And sometimes you generate the primary data, which is very important. Then you need to ask the question, what data you are going to generate. I know. Those data sometimes you can generate with the help of the questionnaires. You can also go different type of surveys other than the experimental works or the model inputs or the simulation model inputs outputs. So the primary data generation is important, but sometimes the lot of secondary data also used in the research activities. That way you can save the time. So many a times you can get the data directly from CPCD, Center Pollution Control Board, or state control boards, or PhD departments, or XYZ departments, and you can save the time in terms of generating the primary data, rather than you can focus in the other activities of the research. Suppose you are good in the modeling and simulation aspect, so you can save the time in the primary data generation. You take the secondary data and focus in your area of strength. So for a researcher, it becomes very important to know what are their strengths, and with those strengths, what are the good papers they can produce, which has a social relevance, global relevance, and so accordingly you can proceed with your research. These days, writing the PhD thesis needs 2 to 3 research paper in good peer-reviewed journals listed in Web of Sciences. Also, most of the universities are aiming for these targets. Apart from getting examined the thesis from the foreign researchers as well as the Indian examiners. So for a good PhD thesis writing, also the good research papers are required. So for that reason, it is very important for a researcher to know their strength, because the supervisor have certain limitations to give the times in terms of the number of research scholars who are working with them. So more and more your strength helps to achieve the milestone required in the research activities. So you should know your strength and you should focus in your research so that you can contribute some knowledge which has a relevance in terms of publications. And then the statement of limitations. Sometimes many high ambitious research you focus, but you are not able to carry out each and everything, but you meet your target. So all other points which are left out, you can give the recommendations that helps the other researchers to start with. So many a time you do good amount of research, but you also keep so many questions unanswered. So this becomes helpful for the other researchers working in those areas to take those research questions and then start working to address, and then they also fulfill certain objectives. So the limitations and the recommendations are very important for a good research, followed by conclusion and references. So this is the outlook of a research paper which you need to organize for a particular journal, for which you are going to download the author's guideline, and then keeping these things in mind, you are going to arrange your research paper, and then you are going to send the manuscript to the editorial offices. So if we can move to the next slide. Sometimes many researchers they sometimes think that let me first focus on my research objectives. Once I complete my research objectives, and then only I will write my research papers. So first they aim to write their PhD thesis, and then they feel I shall get 1 or 2 years extra time to submit the research paper to the journals. So they want more free time to devote on a quality research papers. So there they also get the challenge related to converting their research thesis in the research papers. It is also possible to convert your research thesis in the book form. It is also possible to convert your research thesis in research papers. the entire thesis in some research papers, or the chapter of each of your thesis in research papers. All these things are also possible. So sometimes rather than and this also helps sometimes your own research uh, 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 similarity index may restrict you writing the chapters in the research thesis, because it becomes the self plagiarisms. So in that case you need to remove that. So depending on the university norms, rules, regulation of UGC guidelines, you can plan accordingly. So whatever is the requirement. So sometimes you achieve your research paper target first and then write the thesis, or sometimes you write the thesis and write the research paper at a later stage. So that is also possible. So converting a thesis to a research paper, because thesis layout is also same as a research paper. So sometimes the abstract, the introduction, the results, and then the methodology, and then everything you condense in such a form so that it start looking like a research articles. Then it takes a shape of manuscript and you can send to the journals for the publication point of view. So, and my suggestion that you need to have minimum 3 to 4 objectives in your PhD research thesis. And if you are going to do a good research, then every research objective should lead 1 or 2 good research paper in a peer-reviewed journals. So all these objectives need to be defined in first or second year of your research activities. And those people who are already have PhD degree, then their next target should have to write the research paper which should be good in quality, and need to be appear in a good index journal, so that the citation of your research should increase in the times to come, because your research profile will be visible to the global society if you have a good RG score, if you have a good I10 index, if you have a good H index, if you would have a good citation index. So this should be the target for the researchers who are going to be the modern generation researchers, because your research credentials are going to be gauged these days with these index values. Nobody is going to read your biodata, how much research paper you have written. Rather than directly, they will see your index on the portals and they will give you the offer accordingly. So these are the new trends which are emerging in the research domains. So the people who are going to take you in their organization, they will get your credentials on the portal itself without asking you. And then other parameters they will look into and they will imply accordingly, as a scientist, as a professor, as a professional in companies. Even these days, companies are also very much demanding the innovation and the research-based activities. Otherwise, they disappear in no point of time. So in the times to come, the higher education in India is going to take a very, very important role. And this is highlighted already in our new education plan. And I am also started seeing the effect of the impact of higher education. Like this year, I have seen in my university, a lot of MTech student and PhD student took the admission rather than BTech student. So these impacts are started looking. Now people are going more towards the higher education these days. So this is the requirement in the current situations, and this is the right time when you people should aim for a quality research. So these next few slides shows you how to convert a PhD thesis into a good research paper. So please go to the next slide. So all these things you need to read through. If I am going to explain each and everything, this is going to be a very long discussion. But all these things are possible. All these phrases which are written over here, if you read, they will help you to convert a thesis chapter to a research paper article, or entire thesis to a research paper articles. And I also suggested sometime you can also get published your research thesis in the form of books, because it comes out with a lot of your hard work. So it have a lot of potential to get published, so that later on you can claim for the royalty, or any if it is a good innovations, then also you can have a sort of revenues and all to be generated. If certain ideas can be patented, also these days lot of national and international agencies are also working to patenting those ideas, which can be commercialized at the later stage. So your target should not be only limited to your research papers, but it should also go beyond that. Sometimes patenting your innovative ideas, sometimes writing the book chapters, sometimes writing the books, so that your innovation and research can go to the end users in the different forms, and where you should be visible to the global society. So going to the next slide. Yeah, so all these things are the extension with what I am willing to share with you, and like modify the introduction and then bring to the introduction into the research paper forms, because introduction written in the PhD thesis, sometimes it is 40 to 50 pages. Same introduction in a research paper you have to introduce reduce to 2-3 pages. So, and keeping in mind the essential elements should not be missed out. So this is going to be a very challenging task for you. So that is the reason you should be very articulate you and very good in the written skills, so that those 50 pages which you are reducing to 2-3 pages without losing any essence is going to be important. So all these things comes with lot of hard work and sincere efforts, and keeping patience with the editorial office, with the reviewer office, reviewers comments, and this is a lifelong process. It is not like one paper you have written very good in very high index journal, the next paper will get the same credit. It may not happen, because it needs a continuous efforts, and it is a lifelong learning. Research activity is a lifelong learning. You should have a passion and interest and motivation. All these things will convert you in a good researcher. At the same time, you need to achieve good milestones in your life. So first you can aim with the Stanford University ranking as a scientist. Then you can go as high to get the Nobel Prize, or getting your paper published in the Nature and all. So all these things should be your future targets as a good researcher. So tighten the methods and sections, report main findings in the results. These things can be discussed and elaborated in a broad way. But seeing the time limits, I cannot go in much deeper in all these aspects. But certainly I shall give you some time to ask some questions as well. So please proceed to the next. So discussion must be clear and concise. Then all these things begin by providing an interpretation of your result. What is it that we learned from your research? And sometimes the plagiarism, say half a page plagiarism may not be that important, rather than half a line plagiarism. What I mean to say is you need to follow the research ethics. One should never claim the result of some other researcher as a own researcher. All these things, research ethics need to be very precisely followed. So the similarity index analysis, the Turnitin software and all those software help you to find out those things and remove accordingly, and be honest in reporting your research findings. Limit the number of references, considering using the references manager. Lot of softwares are also available, manager systems, to help you out in writing the manuscripts. So many a times, even the Google Scholar itself help you to put your research cross references in a particular format. So you should not struggle or waste time by putting the first author name, year of publication, then title, and then blah blah blah. All these things you should not waste the time, because there are the tools available. You need to smartly use those tools, and then save the time and give that time to those activities which are more important. You for a researcher. So many a time you should not spend your time in those places where it is not necessary to spend. So with this, I am reaching to the last slide, and say thanks to all of you being the part of this presentation. And maybe we have 15 minutes more where I shall love to take the question answers from the audience. And so that's all for presentation part.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request all the participants to put up their questions. If you have any doubts and questions, we can discuss and we can take guidance from Professor Ram, sir. So we have got a very insightful guidance from you, and we would love to have further more guidance about how we can go about writing good research papers, and how we can convert our PhD theses into good research papers. It will be a very good guidance we can come up. So we are waiting for some questions. So there's a question from a student. He wants to know that how while reviewing a paper can publish it into a review paper without showing taking out all the plagiarism in it.
Yeah. Priyanka has asked a very good question. Her question is related to a review paper. These days, the trend of writing the review paper is reducing. Earlier, people used to start the research activity with a review paper. So even the supervisor used to say, first you do the good review work and write a review paper. But this trend is reducing these days, and that has a valid reason, because review paper also, if it doesn't bring certain kind of a research element in itself, then it is a repetitions of the same thing which is done by the different researcher in those areas. So for example, if you are writing a research paper on the CDM technology, this is the center of climate change, so I am talking about CDM technology. So many a time thousands and lakhs of researchers are working on the same article, so it becomes very difficult for the editors to take a decision that publishing the review papers, because there is the repetitions of those ideas, those materials, even as Priyanka is telling the how to deal with the plagiarisms. So in these days, I have seen in the review papers there are number of statistical software being used, where suppose you have identified some 100 research papers with the help of which you have read thoroughly, you have understood thoroughly, and you want to convert that in a form of a good review paper. So those software tools will help you to identify the research gaps. So first, those 100 research papers, you do the statistical analysis, and then there are different type of bar graph, and then the Windrose diagram type of graph, which helps you to identify the research gap. And for you as a researcher, it is very important to get the research gap to start your research. So rather than physically reading and then manually going, then this is the research work. The software itself will identify the research gaps, and then they will put the data, and later on that it will indicate these are the areas where there is a potential to research, but much of the research is not being done. Those graphs, those tools, those presentation will show. So at least you are contributing something in form of simulation, modeling, data analytic, these areas which are coming up in your review paper, and then you put those things in place. So that way you will be able to reduce the plagiarism as well as using certain mathematical tools to identify the research gaps. Earlier we were doing it manually, but in present scenario it is not required to do it manually. It is need to be done with the help of the softwares. So my suggestion is to new researcher is to use the tools to identify the research gap in writing the literature, the review papers. Otherwise, it is very likely they will be rejected from the editorial offices.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Varun sir, now I hand over
Thanks,
the
sir.
question answer round to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, thank you very much, sir. Sir, we have some questions from participants. One of the
Yeah.
participants is asking about how to go for rapid publication in index journals.
How to go for?
Rapid publication in index journal, as some of the journals take more time to publish the paper. So what should
Yeah.
we do
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
publication?
Actually, for a good research papers, time anything between 6 months to a year is not a large time. So rather than we need to arrange our research activities so that we should be able to give the time to the editorial office and the reviewers. If we are willing to reduce the time, this means we are compromising on the quality of the research. Because the most of the time reviewers do the honorary work, so we cannot bring them in pressure. Please send your review comments in 2 weeks or so. So because they being same thing you will also do because you are managing that work with so many other works with you, and so same thing is for the reviewers. So and in good journals always there is a queue for the research publications. Many times they accept your paper, but that will come after 3 months only. Online or in the printed forms means it has come under queue, but there is a good be 6 to 7 billion people on this planet and is struggling. So more and more numbers are researchers are coming up in the times to come, and with the same pace the infrastructures are not coming up, so this becomes a limitations. So there is no way to reduce the time period it will take. So for a quality research work, so my suggestion is you yourself place your time in such a way so that you should be in position to give the educate time to the editorial and the reviewer offices.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Sir, next question is from other participant. He is asking about what should be prefer before getting publication. It's circulation of the journal or the impact factor. What is the important parameter to choose the journal for publication?
I think impact factor is more important because it takes care of all other factors. So we should look for a good impact factor journal rather than circulation, because circulation anyway it is embedded part of the impact factor. If it is a good circulation then and good citation, then only it will have a good impact factor. So impact factor is a large umbrella within which all other things are included.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, one more question is from Abu Amir. He is asking that what is the indexing value on which the grading of a research work will be depending on?
Indexing value
Yes,
indexing,
sir. Indexing. Yeah, sir.
I was talking about Yes10 index and I10 index, isn't it? These are the index used on the Google Scholar portal, and that is the indicator of how old you are in the research community. For example, I10 index means each one of your research paper is cited at least 10 times in the research community. So suppose you have 35 I-10 index, this means 35 of your research paper out of total research papers are cited at least 10 times. So that indicates how old you are in the research community, how good you are doing in the research community. Same thing for the H index, same thing is for the G index, same thing is for the citation index. Higher the citation index means more and more your contribution is there in the research community.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Sir, one more question from my side also.
Yeah.
Sir, sometimes we receive the message from editor that your paper is out of scope, but still we see that most of the papers published on the same theme, but they reject the paper on the basis of the fact that your paper is out of scope. So in that case, what should we do to avoid this?
It can be rewritten to the editor with the request that sir, you could have not got time to go through my entire manuscript, so please re-look into this, and seeing this only I have decided. So sometimes if he has taken the decision hurriedly, he will rethink on their decision. But for a editor, it is a very important job to be a very unbiased person and should take the address the research community without any biasness.
Okay,
So sometimes, yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Basically, I have faced many times this kind of act that they rejected the paper, they're saying that it is out of scope. But the same thing paper is already published.
I understand. So that also indicate the standard of that journal. This means those journals may not be. So it is better to leave those kind of journals and go to the other journals, because these days there is no lack of journals, good journals in the research domain. So in those situations, we should not go much behind them. Rather than we should change the journal.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Now I would like to call upon Ms. Priyanka Roy for further.
So there is one question from my end, that we are into the field of remote sensing and GIS, and we are looking for patents. Generally, the patents, what we feel I have seen, is more kind of for mechanical and some engineering designs. So how can you suggest that we from the GIS and remote sensing dimension can look for patents, as you have got patents, 5 patents against your name, and what was the logic and how did you proceeded for your patent that can provide a big edge to our career, because the only portion that we have not had any kind of publication is the patent. So please give more brief about the patents, how we should proceed, so that, and the copyright. They are the two things that we would like to know more in detail about both the things.
This is a very good question asked by some of you, and actually GIS and remote sensing softwares are mainly used for the spatial and temporal analysis of data and informations and putting them in the publishable forms. So this becomes very difficult for the researchers to get the patent, because most of the patents are granted on the design problems. Which can be produced in form of a product, manufactured in the form of products. So, but if you go to the science of remote sensing, then there is a scope to. So rather than application part, if you go the science, because remote sensing is also an area where new kind of the sensor can be developed. For example, one of my student, he developed a sensor which was very cheap for gauging the moisture of the soil, so that the irrigation efficiency and irrigation interval can be fixed by the farmers. So, and that was a very handy to use. So more and more scopes are there where you can build certain kind of products as a sensor. These sensors are very commonly used device in the real life. So rather than going the software application, if you go the sensor development and these kind of the things, then the getting patents will become easy. Because more and more focus is these days the devices related to their cost. Sometimes device is available, but it is not affordable to the farmers. They want a cheap device which should be more user friendly and which should be more information giving. So this kind of the things may lead to the patents, because patents are given only for the a fixed time interval time period, because by that time a new patent will come, then your patent will become redundant. So there is a competition in that area also. So this kind of the research may help you to get the patent. So go for the science of the remote sensing and GIS, then only you can get the patents.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, on this note, I would like to invite Dr. Suraj Kumar Singh for the vote of thanks. So,
Hello, a very good afternoon to respected audience, Professor Ram Karan Singh sir, and all the students of Center for Climate Change and Water Research. On the behalf of Suresh Gyan Vihar University, I would like to thank Professor Ram Karan Singh, who provided in detail knowledge about citations, I index, H index, how a good paper has to be written, how the important parameters have and the factors has to be taken into consideration prior to submission, during submission, and post submission. He also highlighted how the various tools and mathematical tools can be applied for various research writing and literature review writing. He also provided insights about the patents development, the logic behind the patents, and how it can be applied to various government and international agencies. And once again, on the behalf of the university, I would like to thank all the audience, the faculty members, all the students, and especially Professor Ramkaran Singh, that from his busy schedule, he has taken few hours and he has enlightened his experience, his insights about the research with the young community of India. And also, we like to have further blessings in our coming projects, research, webinars from Sir. With this, I'll end my word of thanks.
thank you,
Priyanka,
sir.
please.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for the precious words. And I would also take some opportunity to thank Dr. Shruti Kanga, Dr. Suresh Kumar Singh for providing this platform where we can learn and get more insights about how to write good research papers. Now, with this, I also would take opportunity to thank Dr. Varun Narayan Mishra and Dr. Pranay Devate and the entire team of C3WR to support and make this FDP a success. And I also want to add to all the participants to turn on their cameras so that we can have a small photo session for the records. Rishabh, please take the screenshots. Okay. Okay, then thank you so much, sir. And sir, now I officially